Good afternoon. This is Reverend Twyla Reece coming to you from Unity of Merced in Merced, California. And I am here with my friend Lisa Blanton, who is doing music for us today. A little bit of Bob Dylan, a little bit of, I forget.
Randy Sparks.
Randy Sparks. I love it. And Lisa's wonderful being able to pull out those old standards that just speak to our heart and fill us with love. And then we're going to have a guest come in just a few minutes, Reverend Aya Luna Garza from the United Methodist Church here in Merced, California. And she is going to be talking to us about the shortage of food in Merced County, in California, and the country. But right now, I invite you to come into this present moment, to come and be here with Lisa and I. As we put our attention on our heart, the beating of our heart, the breathing of our heart, and feel that presence. Gently inhaling and holding that breath, letting it fill your body to become one with who you are. Wherever you are, whatever you've been doing, you just allow yourself to stop and be, and to breathe in that life force of God, of good, of love and compassion. Feel that love. Feel that presence. And because we have quite a busy little program here, I'm not going to read the entire daily word for Sunday, November 15th, but I'm going to give you the essence of it. The word is kindness. And the affirmation is, I flow with divine love as I give and receive kindness. I flow with divine love as I give and receive kindness. So just feel the warmth, the love, and the connection that just hearing that affirmation can bring to you. And the writer says that the movement of electrons through a wire creates a current, a flow. As kindness moves from person to person, it creates a flow of divine love. We are vibrationally connected to all that is. And the scripture is, what does the Lord require of you but to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God? From Micah 6:8. To walk humbly with your God and to be in that pure space of loving kindness, of compassion, of generosity, of love, of goodness. And we know that we are in this presence, in this moment, always at choice to be in the highest level of love that we can be. And we give thanks. And Lisa, will you please fill us with the love of your music?
May God
bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars and climb on every rung. May you stay forever young, forever young, forever young. May you stay forever young. May you grow up to be righteous. May you grow up to be true. May you always know the truth and see the light surrounding you. May you always be courageous, stand upright and be strong, and may you stay forever young, forever young, forever young. May you stay forever young. May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds of change shift. May your heart always be joyful. May your song always be sung, and may you stay forever young, forever young, forever young. May you stay forever young. May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and let others do for you. May your heart always be joyful and your song always be sung, and may you stay forever young, forever young, forever young. May you stay forever
Oh, Lisa, thank you. May you stay forever young. May you stay forever young in your heart and your mind and your body and the universal flow of life. Again, each moment, each breath, always going to your heart and allowing that heart space to expand as you allow for Holy Spirit to speak to you, with you, and through you. And so now I am going to admit, because that's what it says on my screen. That's so funny. Zoom is so funny. Anyway, we will join with Reverend Aya Luna Garza from the United Methodist Church in Merced, California. And hold on just a moment. I'll probably be changing views here from time to time. So there she is, but I think we have a still image. Hello, Reverend Aya. She's connecting with us. You all know, all you Zoom experts know what that's like. Here she comes.
Can you hear me now?
I can
Can you hear
hear
me now?
you. I can hear you now. You sound like a
Yay.
Verizon commercial.
Can you hear me now? So I'm glad you can hear me. I'm glad whoever's listening will be able to hear me. Twyla, you want me to just keep going?
I want you to keep going. And I think let me put you on speaker view, even though we don't have you in person. I'm wanting to be able to see you and get your essence. So I
Yay.
introduced you as the pastor of, oh, there you are. Awesome. Hello.
Hello.
So I introduced you as the pastor of the United Methodist Church here in Merced, California, and that you are going to speak to us about the food shortage that we have in Merced County, California, and our country.
Okay.
And what we and that we want to enlist people's help in getting this to change. So take it away.
Okay, so good afternoon. Hi, again, I'm Aya, Pastor Aya with United Methodist Church here in Merced, and we have a food pantry. I've been in Merced for about 2 years. When I first got here, I had done some research, and I have to tell you this because we need to start from the understanding. Our background is Merced County at that point was number 3, the 3rd county in all of the U.S. for food insecurity. So coming into this area, I already knew that there was an issue and that was something we needed to look at. The church that I began serving already had a food pantry in place. It was serving about 75 families a month, once a month. And by January of this year, we had gone up to 200 families once a month. Now, enter COVID, right? COVID has been interesting this year and has posed all kinds of challenges for us. So enter COVID in February 18th, we closed the doors of the church to social gatherings. And we also started looking at how we could best serve the community of Merced. At that point, it was also very evident that the food shortage and the need for assistance, both things were definitely increasing. And so we decided we would open our doors for drive-through food pantry, and we would feed as many as we could, as long as we could, with as much as we could. And so by the end of March, we were feeding 400 families weekly. By May, we had doubled that to 800. And currently we're feeding about 600 distributions weekly. Wow, I know it's crazy. The need has increased. The face of poverty has changed. It's no longer just the systemic poverty that's been around, and the persons that we expect to need help is no longer just them. It's the ones that are losing their jobs. It's the ones whose hours have been cut. It's the seasonal workers that now are not working because the farmers aren't being paid and they can't get their stuff out to the grocery stores, right? It's persons who are paying for COVID bills, or persons who are having to decide whether to pay for medicine or pay for their food. It's persons who are losing work because of COVID. And quite frankly, it's even some who have been affected by deaths when their family from COVID. So all of these things are augmenting our need. There's just crazy need here in the Central Valley of California. And all this time, again, the United Methodist Church of Merced has been working at making sure that we have some food available. As of August, through August, from May to August, we were receiving some help through the Farm to Families initiative. Those were 3 different phases of 6 weeks. 6 weeks each. The first time we got on, it was great. They were able to help us out. We started out with 700 boxes. We increased that very quickly for the phase 2 to 1,200 boxes. Phase 3, we had a glitch in that the contractors for Farm to Families. Now, Farm to Families is the program that the United States government came in as a COVID response, and that was to keep farmers working. It was to keep production of food and handling of food that going, right? It was meant to keep some of the people some of the migrant workers working, and it was meant to feed our hungry families now that we've had increased need of food, and to keep some of the supply chain going, right? And so came along, and the vendor who had gotten that we were in contract with was not one of the contractors for Farm to Family. So all of a sudden we found ourselves from Friday, we got a call saying, you're not having food next week, period. We don't know when you'll have food. At that point, United Methodist Church of Merced stepped up. We created boxes of food and bought food, and some through the food bank, although I have to say givings to the food bank have also decreased because of COVID and the supply chain. Fewer things in the grocery store means less excess. Less excess means less food to the food bank. And so they also get food through the USDA, but you have to be USDA certified in order to access that. We have been in process of that for over 2 years, trying to get that. We were deemed a temporary site in January, and that was recanted in March with COVID. And so now we have been able to reinstate part of that. And so what we get is USDA overage. So if USDA sends food to the whatever sites are USDA certified, and they have extra, that extra comes to us, or we are allowed to get some of that extra. We don't get all of it. Again, that's not so much anymore because all the need everywhere is increased. And so the USDA sites also are needing to meet needs that have increased. So in the middle of phase 2 and phase 3, United Methodist Church of Merced personally funded, for the most part, boxes for 3 weeks in the middle for hundreds and hundreds of, actually thousands at that point, of hungry families. We were not, phase 4 came up. And again, the contractors that we were on contract with were not honored the contract. And so again, we found ourselves with no food. But worse yet, what happened with phase 4 is that the food moved from from COVID response to a USDA response. Now, a few minutes ago, I said USDA was already having trouble keeping up with demands of what they need for their own sites. And so this is true. When we switched it over to USDA, then again, that goes to meet those demands first. And the second thing that happened with that is the vendor that was honored, the one that was accepted on the bid for this phase 4, was only granted $100,000 for all of California, the whole state of California. So one vendor in the whole state of California, $100,000 for the whole state of California. Obviously, that's a drop in the bucket for a whole state, especially one the size of California. And so we were left against them saying, we have no food. We have no food. What has happened in the last couple of weeks, we have received some emergency response boxes of dry foods. That's about 11 to 13 pounds of food per box, and we have received some of those to keep going. And then the United Methodist Church of Merced and private donors and other church partners and everybody else who wants to help jumps in and helps. And I wish I were in my fellowship hall right now, because I could show you how we put boxes together. Right, we're just constantly putting boxes together, especially because we don't know when we don't know when these boxes will stop. Once they're gone, they're gone. And of course, we don't get much warning because, well, they don't have to give us warning. So we could find ourselves yet again in a place of needing to supply the food for this area. Now, if we want to put this in back with phase 1 of the USDA Farm to Families initiatives, the food bank, Merced County Food Bank, was receiving 2,000 boxes of Farm to Families. On top of that, they were receiving thousands of boxes of the relief aid, dry foods. And they were serving Merced through their side door. They were serving anyone in Merced County 3 times a week. They would serve, and they would serve 2,000 boxes 3 times a week. So that's 6,000 boxes a week of the Farm to Families. That does not count the dry relief that they were giving out as well, which again, that's hundreds of boxes there, if not thousands. As of phase 3, they know when phase 3 came around, and remember I told you our vendor was dropped, their vendor was dropped at the same time. We were both on the same contract, which means they no longer got boxes. But because we advocated, we called the congressman, we called the senator, we called Gray's office, Assemblyman Gray's office, we called the governor, we called the mayor, we called the supervisor. Seriously, we went all up from city all the way through federal. We called the USDA decision makers all the way up. Calls, texts, emails, any way we could get a hold of them, and said, hey, we need food, we need food, we need food. And so we advocated, and we were able to get enough boxes for what we could do here through United Methodist Church of Merced. At that time, we were doing 800 boxes on our own. When we realized that the county, that the food bank was no longer going to be serving, we actually bumped that up to 1,400 boxes plus the 200 that we supplement every week. And because that's where they could bump it up to at that point. And so the food bank is no longer doing side door distribution. It is no longer receiving those thousands of boxes. The only boxes coming to Merced County are the ones at this moment coming to the church through the contracts that we've advocated for. Now, that being said, that phase 3 ended 3 weeks ago at the end of October. So we've had 2 weeks now where we have not had the farm to families. We are getting some dry boxes from the food bank. We are supplementing with stuff from our church, and we are supplementing with stuff through the USDA overage to hopefully, our goal is that every box gives at least 2 meals for a family of 4. And so that's what we aim for. Which doesn't sound like a lot until you're talking about 1,600 families. So here we are. We don't know how long the dry boxes from the food bank will hold out. I just got word today that we might be able to get farm to families for 2 weeks because I think the direct quote was, the congressman's office heard you, Aya. And so I think that we're going to get food for the next 2 weeks. Which brings us up right up till Thanksgiving. And I can tell you right now, we're still advocating to try to find turkeys and hams or something, some kind of meat or protein to put with the boxes. We still don't know how we're going to do that yet. But after that, we don't know. We could very well find ourselves having to build boxes on our own and finding them with partner help, with church help, with agency help, with private help, with the church budget, everything all together combined. It's going to take all of us. And that being said, it's going to take all of us. It takes all of us now. It takes all of us now to even keep it afloat right now. So help with hands on deck when we're distributing, help with hands on deck while we're packing boxes, help with advocating with the
Oh, she froze up on us. You froze on us, Aya. See if she comes back. It's a lovely picture of you all frozen. Let me go back to gallery view for a second. So while Aya gets her volume back, trust me, Aya has not lost her volume. There you go. Are you back? You froze up on us.
From the local level to the, we need to get on. We really need to work together to make sure that we're getting right there.
We are. We lost you for a little bit. We lost you for a tiny bit. Okay. Now you can't hear me. Okay, well.
So the last.
Go ahead. We've got some technology issues. So hopefully, Aya, are you there, Aya?
I'm not maybe. So what was the last question, Twyla?
We lost you. Yeah, we lost you when you started talking about what we can do. Yes. So what can we do to help?
It is going to take all of us. Okay, so it is going to take all of us. It's going to take all of us to feed the people. It's going to take all of us to advocate to feed the people. So some real practical things are hands on deck on Thursdays to help in distribution. Hands on deck over the next few weeks as we pack boxes and put them together. Also, writing your senator, congressman, everywhere from local through federal levels, just saying, hey, we need food in the Central Valley. These are your people. These are the ones that voted for you. These are the ones that pay the taxes. These are the ones that need to eat today. Asking for us as a community to not be forgotten when it comes to the funding that comes for COVID relief, the funding that comes for USDA relief, the funding that comes for hunger relief, whatever ways along the way. There are several different pots that could be part of that. But we do need to advocate again, from the local level all the way through the federal levels. And then, of course, hands-on, packing boxes, distributing boxes, picking up donations and bringing them to the church. Funds, items, all of that helps, and it's going to take
Okay.
all of us together.
So Aya, can you give us the address of the church?
The church is United Methodist Church of Merced at 899 Yosemite Parkway in Merced, California, 95340. Or if you want to look at us up online, you can see us at umcmerced.org. And there are lots of ways you can look at ways to help at the food bank, at the food pantry.
If people want to show up on Thursday, it would be what time?
We start the heaviest stuff between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m.
Okay. And then you and I will get together so that I've got the correct email addresses and phone numbers that people can call. I will post them on our website, Unity Merced's website, and our social media. And like you're saying, you're talking from our local leaders to national leaders, correct? We need to reach everyone en masse.
Absolutely, all through the channel, because it's so easy to get lost or stuck somewhere on someone's desk. But if we're hitting all of the levels, then no one can say they don't know that we have hungry people in California.
Okay, Aya, thank you so very, very much. And I know the hours and the level of energy that you yourself put into this, and you don't do it for your own glory, but I am so grateful that you are out there feeding the hungry. And I know that that is your passion, to feed the people, both spiritually and physically.
Thank you. It is a passion to feed people, mind, body, and spirit. And so I invite y'all to help me out. Thank you so very much, Twyla. Big hugs. God bless.
All right.
And I hope to see and work with y'all soon. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So let's see if Aya hangs up. So hang on with me here while I take care of that. And there she goes. Okay. So I think I'm on speaker view. Hopefully you can see me. I'm seeing Lisa. Lisa, do you see me or you in the big picture?
Yep.
Me in the big picture?
See both of us.
You see both of us. That's okay.
I have two of us.
All right. So everyone, thank you so much thank you very much for hanging in there while we do all these little technical pieces. But as you heard Pastor Aya say, there is much hunger here in Merced County in California. And if we have people who are hungry in Merced County, California, we know that there are people hungry in the rest of the country and the world. So I invite you right now in this moment to just be quiet and silent with this. And only you know what you can do to assist in this situation, whether physically on Thursdays down at the Methodist Church in Merced, or with writing letters, sending emails, making phone calls. with our request of people are hungry. People are hungry. Let us open up the pipeline. And we know that there's a full pipeline. We know that. Even in this time of COVID, while things have gotten off kilter as far as the supply chain goes, there is still so much food and love to be distributed. So I feel that we are called upon right now to come together in a deeper sense of love, in a deeper sense of compassion, and to take our individual energies into a collective energy of compassion, of action, of generosity, in whatever way Spirit is calling to you. We have been talking over the last several weeks about finding that deeper sense of love. And that deeper sense of love has to start first within ourselves. And the love that we have for and with the God of our understanding, but also our own individual love for ourselves. And it is the more that we are able to love ourselves as an individual, the more that love goes out into the collective world. I want to share with you a reading from this Tuesday's Science of Mind magazine. And the writer this month is Jeffon Seely, and thank you, Jeffon, for these beautiful writings. And he uses an affirmation from Ella Baker. And I love that it was Ella Baker since we had Aya on with us today. And Ella Baker says, "Give light and people will find the way." And from Ernest Holmes, the thing to do is not to try and unify with people, but with the principle of life behind all people and things. Let me say that again, because that's very, very important. The thing to do is not to try and unify with people, but with the principle of life behind all people and things. To go deeper into that divine law, into that divine law of all possibility. There is an answer to every need. We need to let go of our egoic stance and open up to divine love. And Jeffon Seely goes on to say, "I was in the middle of the Fort Belknap Reservation in rural Montana, sitting next to a small fireplace that warmed the living room of an elder of the Aninan tribe. And the elder's name was Catcher Cuts the Rope. My friends and I were 2 months into our tour of peace, positivity, and sustainability. Due to a late May snowstorm, we had the privilege of spending nearly a week with Catcher and his family, learning about their culture and their way of being. He shared one expression I will never forget: warriors of light. He mentioned that there were a few of these warriors within various tribes. Their purpose was to travel across Turtle Island, which is the indigenous people's name for North America, and interact with other groups. And they did this not to plot an attack or to take anything or to oppress. Instead, they did this to share their spiritual understanding, to learn the wisdom of others, and most importantly, to spread the light. Each day, when we venture out into the world, we have an opportunity to be one of these warriors of light. We need not seek to find ways to perpetuate suffering, take advantage of others, or be in competition. Instead, we can live our lives in such a way that light, compassion, and peace reverberate from our being. When we recognize, honor, and fuel the sacred light within, we suddenly begin to recognize, honor, and cherish the light shining within all. And the affirmation is, I am filled with love, light, compassion, and peace. We are filled with light, love, compassion, and peace. This day, this moment, allow yourself to connect to that higher vibration of being, the focus, the energy, the life of God that underlies everything. We live in a good and benevolent world. Let us hold in light and love the people that are in need, the people that are suffering. That may not be you in this moment. I pray that it isn't. And yet we know that that is a reality in the world. And we can all be warriors of light. We can be a part of the healing. We can be a part of the evolving understanding of love, compassion, generosity, equity. Today, right now, is your opportunity to listen deeply to what is yours to do in the world. It may just be only a small piece, but that piece in the vibration of the universe is huge. So let us see all people nourished of spirit, of mind, of body, fullness of life. I will post phone numbers. I will do what I can to assist Aya in helping to get this information out. We need to bring together a rallying cry of warriors of light to bring attention to this food desert that is going on, not only in the United States, but in the world. Let today be the day. And Lisa, will you please share with us now?
Today, while the blossoms still cling to the vine, I'll taste your strawberries, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows shall all pass away,
Today, 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 today. Listen. Listen deeply. Listen sweetly. Open your heart. What is yours to do in the world? And be the love. Be the love you wish to see. And in closing, we go out knowing that the light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you, the power of God protects you, and the presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is truly love. And so it is. And we'll see you next week. Bye.